How you doing? It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and another episode of the Mike Prince Show. We come to you each and every day right here on these beautiful airwaves. Airwaves are free, aren't they? Yeah, that's what I thought so. But we're here each and every day giving you all we can while we can. And today will be no exception to the rule. We got a lot to talk about. SWAC basketball tipped off on last night. We also had two outstanding semifinal games to lead us to the championship for FBS college football. Prairie View A&M University getting their coaching staff together, and it's time for us to get a new commissioner. And we'll talk about what should the criteria be, at least from my vantage point, to getting the next leader to take the SWAC to the next level. We got so much to talk about, so why hesitate and let the show begin right now. You cannot help but appreciate the two games that were played on last night to set up the championship game for January the 8th. Georgia and Oklahoma, by far, one of the more entertaining games of the bowl series. Alabama showed one of the more dominating performances of the bowl series. And the showdown will feature two SEC teams. Now, people want to go back and forth saying that the SEC gets overrated, but they've shown why they're considered the big boys of the Power Five. And it's going to be an SEC champion that we can guarantee for the 2017-18 football FBS season. Will it be Georgia or will it be Roll Tide? I'm excited to see how this one's going to end up. But nonetheless, those two games were very much worth the price of admission. Although the SEC suffered a huge upset with Auburn losing to UCF, and most of the other SEC schools floundered in their bowl appearances. The ones that mattered the most, the SEC showed up. And man, it's going to be another exciting game. At least I'm hoping it's going to be another exciting game between Georgia and Alabama. In case you didn't know, SWAC basketball tipped off on last night. Results from the women's side of the hardwood found Jackson State victorious over Alabama State by the score of 70-61. Texas Southern fell short to Southern University by the score 67-57. Mississippi Valley losing to Arkansas Pine Bluff by the score 64-59. Grambling all over Alabama A&M 78-49. And Prairie View loses a heartbreaker to Alcorn, losing by the score of 73-72. The unusual Wednesday schedule will feature Texas Southern hosting Alcorn, Jackson State hosting Alabama A&M, Grambling hosting Alabama State, and Prairie View hosting Southern University. On the men's side of the hardwood, found Jackson State over Alabama State by the score of 82-73. Texas Southern 78, Southern University 66. Mississippi Valley falling short to Arkansas Pine Bluff by the score of 80-71. Alabama A&M 71, Grambling 64. And Prairie View victorious over Alcorn by the score of 76-64. Of course, the men will reconvene on Wednesday as well to move us right along within the 2018 basketball campaign. And speaking of moving right along, we're going to pause just for a moment, and we'll get right back into the world of SWAC football. Eric Dooley is assembling his staff, and it's time for SWAC Nation to seek a new commissioner. We'll break down what we feel are some important criteria when we return. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show exclusively on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mike Prince Show. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. We have the YouTube channel. That's the Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC, Broadcast Network. And don't forget, you can dial in to share your SWAC story by dialing in at 713-570-6736. Call in, share your SWAC story, whether it's from Prairie View, Mississippi Valley, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, does not matter. Call in, share your SWAC love, and we'll run it right back here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And speaking of the SWAC love, we know that football coaches have been in place. Alabama State with Mr. Donald Hill-Ely. Alabama A&M is still open. Mississippi Valley, Vincent Dancy. We're also working on getting in contact with Coach Dancy so we can hear from his own words the steps that he plans to take Mississippi Valley in. Also, Cedric Thomas named the head coach at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And in case you hadn't heard, Eric Dooley is now the man in charge with Prairie View A&M University. And a lot of these coaches have some assembling to doing as far as their staff is concerned and where they want to go and how they want to go on the next level. And as far as I'm understanding, sources are letting me know that Eric Dooley is doing that very thing. It looks like he's almost got his staff together. Still some whispers in the air on who's exactly what and what's going to be this, that, or the other. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's going to be meeting with his staff sometime this week to put together the final pieces and slight touches, if you would, on what his staff would shape out to be. And you know that we've been very vocal here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network that offense has not been an issue for Prairie View for the last 10 years. Please, oh please, address the defensive side of the football. Because if I'm scoring 32, 33 points a game, that sounds good. But if I'm giving up 34, 35 points a game, it equals more L's than W's. So I am very anxious to see how that's going to turn out. There are whispers in the air that Coach White, who was formerly at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, could possibly end up being the offensive coordinator. There are also whispers that former linebacker coach, well, I'm saying former linebacker coach, I don't know that to be exact, but I'll say it this way. Linebacker coach from Grambling State University, Mr. Terrence Graves, is being considered to be the defensive coordinator for Coach Dooley in the New Look Panthers as far as the coaching staff goes. There is still a lot to be determined, a lot to be figured out, and as it's being figured out, we'll help get it out right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Mike Prince Show. And of course, we have the vacancy that will soon to be upon us when it comes to the commissioner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Who will become the next commissioner to lead this conference to the next level? There are a lot of names that are floating around. We've heard the Charles McCullers. We've heard the Ashley Robertsons. We heard the possibilities of the Dennis Thomas, even from the MEAC. Regardless of who comes to be that man or woman, there are going to be some factors that at least we feel to be important for the next commissioner to be successful. Now, if you're looking for someone who's been a proven commodity, a strong record of leadership, then you couldn't look past Dr. Dennis Thomas. Yes, I know he is with the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, but he has SWAC roots. He's an Alcorn graduate. He has the SWAC heritage, if you would. He's got a proven track record of how well he's handled things over at the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. If you're looking for experience, if you're looking for a proven factor, then he's definitely your guy. You could have a criteria that I want to find the next rising star. I want the next rising star. Well, that next rising star could be someone outside of your conference, outside of your way of doing things. That wouldn't be a bad alternative. But if you get this rising star who comes from outside your normal way of looking and doing things, will you have them on a short leash? Will you be the one to say, hey man, that ain't how we do it over here? Or would you let that person come in and lead as they see fit to lead? Those are some things that must really be considered. Then you always have the promote from within scenario. Do you get an existing AD who is accustomed to the way things are going, who understand the quote-unquote SWAC way? The question then would be, if you get someone from within, would they have the tenacity to stand up against what could be some resistance at time from your conference presidents? Because whomever becomes the next commissioner, they're almost like the consultant. In fact, they are the consultant for the presidents and the athletic directors in the direction that the conference should be heading. They should be a broker to get the best deals that are available for the conference as a whole. Some of the criteria that we think would be something that would be very necessary for the next commissioner to take over is they must have some type of corporate connections. You got to be able to raise the necessary funding where all could benefit. And I'm not just talking about the chicken scratch. I'm talking about the serious dollar. I personally believe that the SWAC brand is capable and worthy of getting a very sizable piece of the market share that's available to us. But you got to have a commissioner who's connected to tap into those resources that can be a benefit to all schools involved. Got to have a commissioner that's going to understand media rights, understand what it's going to take to get the bang bang, the best of every school once again. That commissioner is going to have to be able to sometimes dictate, no, I know I want you all to decide who's going to play on the Thursday nights in football case, but as a commissioner, and I think for the best thing that's going to benefit our brand and make us all look good, I want the best possible slots to fill those Thursday night opportunities. No disrespect to the Pine Bluffs, no disrespect to the Alcorns or the Valleys, but I want to see a premier game on a premier night. Is that asking too much? Whomever the hot brand is at that time, deliver that. I know the fight and the resistance is we're going to lose the gate on our Saturday if we give up that Saturday. Well, that's part of the negotiating rights for the commissioner. Talk it up, negotiate it, where it becomes inviting, where you have people throwing themselves at your mercy to get on Thursday night. And here's another one that seems so simple, but probably the most powerful one of them all. Whomever the next commissioner becomes, it is imperative that you have some people skills. It is so vital that you're able to communicate with all people, not just some people, not just people with the money, not just people who could put you on television or not, but you got to be able to connect to the fan and the supporter. The fan might not understand it, but as the leader of the conference, as the face of the conference, as the voice of the conference, you got to convey the message to the fan as well as to the supporter on why we all should be going in the same direction. I hope that's not asking too much. I really do. But needless to say, it is what it is. Don't forget, basketball kicks back in action on Wednesday night. We'll come together and share the story and the love all over again. Recruiting is still in the air. Alabama A&M has yet to fill their head coaching vacancy. Is that the potential of something big, or could it be a sign of trouble? Either way, we'll keep you posted, keep you informed, and keep you in tune. I got to run right now, but remember to follow me on Twitter, Radio Guy, Instagram, Radio Guy 22, the website, obnradio.com. I am the Radio Guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and until the next time, you be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.